राजोवाच निवृत्ति मार्ग कथित आदौ भगवता यथा क्रम क्रम योग अवलंबेन ब्रह्मणा जद संस्थिति प्रवृत्ति लक्षण चैव त्रिगुण्य विषयो मुने जो असौ अवलिना प्रकृते गुणसर्ग पुनः पुनः अधर्म लक्षणा नाना नरका चानुवर्णिता मन्वन्तरश्च व्याख्यात आद्य स्वयं भुव जतः प्रियव्रत उत्तानपाद वंश तत् चरितानि च दीपवर्ष समुद्राद्रि नदुद्यान वनस्पति. So, yesterday we talked about Parikshit Maharaj. So he was cursed by a Brahmin boy. So he prepared himself for death. What was the preparation? That he left immediately his kingdom, and the kingdom was divided among his sons. He was a young man, not very old, but he understood, now within 7 days I will have to die. So immediately he left home and went to the bank of the Ganges. He was situated, his capital was what is now called New Delhi. Formerly it was known as Hastinapur. The another name of Hastina, New Delhi, is there still, and there is a very, very old fort. They say that this fort belonged to the Pandavas, Maharaj Parikshit. They are keeping, just like in Rome, they are keeping old buildings. So apart from historical reference, so Maharaj Parikshit, he was king, emperor of the world, so he was preparing for dying. Many, many from all over the world, saintly persons, kings, even some demigods from other planets, they came to see him. So, what to do at the time of death? One has to change. Death means change of this body. The modern civilization, they do not know it. That is the first understanding of spiritual knowledge. That we change our body. I am spirit soul, every one of us. Spirit soul, even the animals, and the trees and plants and aquatics, any living being. There are 8,400,000 different forms of living beings. Of all of them, the human form is considered the best. Best means it has got, the human form has got developed consciousness. Developed consciousness means they can understand what is past, what is future, what is present, especially to understand his position as spirit soul, to understand God, to understand what is his relation with God and what he should do in that relationship. These things are understandable in the human form of life, not otherwise. We cannot invite dogs and cats to come here and hear about Srimad Bhagavatam. No, that is not possible. But a human being, he can hear, he can understand. So this is our special opportunity. After evolutionary process, passing through 8 million, at least 8 million different forms of life, the list is there in Padma Purana. Jalajanavalakhani, 9 lakhs forms of life within the water. There is animal in the water which is called timingal. It is so big that we have got experience, the whale fish is very big. That whale fish is taken up by this timingal fish just like a big fish swallows a small fish. Such big fishes are there within they do not come visible to the, but there are, we get information. Timingal. Many very big animals are there within the water, deep. So, there are 900,000 forms of life within the water. And then, Jalajanavalakhadi, Sabara Lakhavingsati. Then, Sabara means stand up. We have got experience. I do not know whether you have got. In our school days, if a boy is making trouble, the teacher will ask him, stand up on the bench. So the stand-up punishment, the trees, the plants, they are stand-up punishment. Stand up here for 5,000 years. You see, there are many trees. They are standing up for 5,000 years, 7,000 years. In California I have seen one tree, they say it is 7,000 years old. They just imagine if the teacher punishes a boy to stand up for a few minutes, how much troublesome it is. And if one is ordered to stand up for 7,000 years, so just imagine what is the punishment. So that is punishment. These trees and plants, because they committed very sinful activities, they naked, to become naked is also another criminal activity. Therefore, by nature's law, the trees, they are standing up naked. They do not dress. Similarly, if a human being does not dress, does not cover, then what is the difference between the trees and the human being? It is the human being who requires to be properly dressed. That is the law of nature. If we violate, then the punishment is, all right, you become tree and stand up naked for 10,000 years. This is the nature's law. You cannot violate the nature's law. And we are completely under the laws of nature. You cannot say that I don't care for. No, you may say foolishly, but you are. You are. Just like nature's law is that you must die. Can you say, no, I shall not die? Can you say boldly, no, I shall not die? I am now scientific. I have got my science, I shall not die. The nature's law, you must die. So in this way you should understand how strongly you are controlled by the nature's law. But foolishly we say, no, that is not. Just like this Maharaj Parikshit is such a powerful king, he is now somehow or other cursed by a Brahmin boy that he must die within 7 days. He is preparing. He has got time, 7 days. But what we have got? We haven't got even 7 minutes warning. At any moment you can die. And what we are doing? That is the foolishness. One must be ready that I will have to die. Die means I will have to accept another body. Now there are so many forms of body, as I was explaining, aquatics, 900,000, then trees, as the water dries, the vegetation comes. You have got experience. That is the nature's process. And after vegetation, then the flies, insects, moving. Up to trees and plants, not moving. Then they move, flies, grasshoppers, and they turn into birds again, very freely flying. And there are many, many big birds in the sky, eagles. Some of the eagles you have got experience. They're monkey-eating eagles. They capture the monkey. And there are eagles elephant-eating. We get all this information. Elephant, they will capture elephant and take it. Just imagine. It is no joking. This is a fact. So there are so many birds, eagle birds, they fly and they go from one planet to another. They are resting just like a bird you see, they fly from one tree to another. So their resting place is one planet to another. You see, you are trying to go to the moon planet bogusly. I'd say bogusly, because you could not go there. The moon planet is far away from the sun planet. So it is not possible to go there by the so-called jets planet, no. It is far, far away. It is 1600,000 miles away from the sun. The modern scientist calculation is 93 million miles. The sun is situated, and above that 1600,000 miles up there is moon planet. So by the Vedic calculation it is not possible to go there. By the method we are attempting, that is not possible. And the proof is that why, if they are going to the moon planet, why they cannot stay there. Now the argument is that there is no vegetation, the atmosphere is different, where living being cannot stay. They say like that. But from the Vedic information, we understand that moon planet influences vegetation in all other planets. So, if the moon planet helps vegetation in all other planets, how it is that there is no planet? There is no vegetation. So there are many things, contradiction, and practically we see they are going to the moon planet but they cannot stay. Uselessly going and coming. So let them do that. But we have got our other sources of information that we cannot go to the moon planet. It is not possible. So anyway, the nature's law is very strict. We cannot surpass. That is stated in the Bhagavad Gita. Daivi jesha gunamayi mama maya durattaya mamevu ja prapaddante mayami tang tarantit. You cannot go, or you may go, but so far you have not gone, or you have not been successful. But there are many other planets that we see at night, many. But spiritual process is so made. Krishna says, Mamevaja prapaddante mayametang sarantit. Maya, the material nature, is very strict. But if one becomes Krishna conscious, fully surrendered to Krishna, he surpasses the laws of material nature. That is possible. Mayametang sarantit. How? Just like we are trying to go to this planet or that planet, but we have been unsuccessful. But if you become Krishna conscious, then immediately after death, you immediately go to the Krishna planet. Immediately. Takta dehang punarjanmanaiti mameti kaunti. So, we Krishna conscious people, we believe in the statement of Krishna and act accordingly. So we have no difficulty because we are under the direction of Krishna. So we are assured if we actually act according to the instruction of Krishna, then we are sure to go back to Krishna, back to Godhead, without any difficulty. But Krishna says, Janma karma chamay dibbam ju janati tattata takta dehang punarjanma naiti mameti kaunti. So we believe, we blindly believe, blindly or knowingly, it is not possible knowingly, but if we accept Krishna's argument, then we have to believe. Krishna does not say anything without any reason. Nobody says, no authority says like that. So what to speak of Krishna? Krishna is the greatest authority. If we blindly accept his statement, that is also good. And if we apply our reason and argument, that also we can do. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Dehinasmin jatha dehe kaumarajo vananga jara tatha dehantara prapti dhiras tattva namayati. He is giving very practical example that because the soul is within this body, therefore bodily changes are taking place. Now suppose if a child is born dead, that you can keep it by some method, preservative method, but it will not grow. One can understand very easily. Because the soul is there, therefore the child from the womb of his mother grows gradually. Grows means changing body. Everything information is there in the Srimad Bhagavatam. The man and woman, father and mother, after sex, the two secretion is emulsified and it takes a form like a pea. And the small living entity, the measurement is also given. Kesagra satohagasya satodha kalpit. 1/10,000 part of the upper portion point of hair. You know, the point of hair, now divide it into 10,000 parts and take one part, that is the form of the soul. That little spark takes shelter into that emulsified pea, and because the soul is there within, it develops from the mother. The child does not develop all of a sudden. Every mother knows that. It grows gradually, little by little, little by little. When it is 7 months, then it moves. So in this way, Krishna says that don't take this body as the living being. Dehina asmin dehe, within this body the soul is there. So everyone can understand. Now because the soul is there, therefore the body is changing. Everyone knows that he was a child, I know, you know. I remember my childhood body or my boyhood body, my youthhood body, I'm old man. I remember them, that I was doing as a young man like this, I was doing as a boy like this, I was jumping. Now I cannot jump. Why? The body is changed. The body is changed, it is very good logic. The same I am there, I was a boy, I was jumping, now I am old man, I have changed my body, I cannot do that. I'll have to take the stick. Because the body has changed. So where is the fallacy of logic? It is very clearly. And the authority says, Krishna says, not an ordinary person. He says within this body there is the soul. And as on account of the soul, the body is changing shape from childhood to boyhood, boyhood to youthhood, from youthhood to old man's body. Similarly, when this body will be useless, he will accept another. This simple truth one has to understand, first of all, before anything spiritual knowledge. If one cannot understand that the spirit soul is different from this body, then he is cat and dog. He is not human being. Jasyātu buddhi kunapeti dhātuke sadhik kalatrādīšu bhauma ijjadhi jattīrtha buddhi salilena karhi chet janesu avijñesu saeva gokhara. Jasyātu buddhi kunapeti tridhātuke. If anyone accepts this body is made of 3 elements, kapha, pitta, bile. Mucus, bile and air. So, if we accept this body, combination of bones and flesh and blood and urines and stool and cough and mucus and so many things, if we consider this body as I am, the soul, do you mean to say that is very good knowledge? No. That is go-khara. Go-khara means animal. Go means cow. And khara means ash. So these animal think like that, I am this body. And if a man thinks like that, he is no better than the animal. That is not possible. Do you mean to say, by combination of this blood, flesh, bones, urine, and stool, and so many other things, you can, by combination, make a person like big scientist, philosopher, mathematician, by combination of these ingredients? Is it possible? Then there are much quantity of blood and flesh and this in the slaughterhouse you bring and mix with them stool and urine and make a Professor Einstein. You are advanced scientist, you bring this ingredient and make a very intelligent man. So this is all foolishness. Sayava Gokhara. Anyone who thinks this body as the self, then he is in the animal kingdom. If anyone wants spiritual knowledge, he first of all know what is spirit, then spiritual knowledge. If you have no idea of spirit, what is the value of your spiritual knowledge? There is no value. Sayava Gokhara. So, this Krishna consciousness movement is giving that enlightenment that you are not this body. Not this movement. It is there in the statement of Krishna. Dehinasmin yatha dehi kaumana asacyananusutastang pragyavadangsta vasas. When Arjuna was declining to fight, the other side was his kinsman, his brother, nephews, his teacher, all very affectionate. So Arjuna declined, Krishna, I am not going to fight. They have usurped our kingdom, that's all right. They are also our own men, let them enjoy. But I am not going to kill them. This is Vaishnava. Because he is a devotee, in spite of being harassed by the other party, wife was insulted, then kingdom was taken by betting, by gambling. In this way, they are put into so many troublesome positions. Still, when there was actual fight, because Arjuna was a Vaishnava devotee, he said, let them enjoy, I am not going to fight. This is Vaishnava. Ordinary man would have taken very seriously, these people have insulted like that, they have taken our ears, we must fight. So Vaishnava, by nature, is not violent. But if it requires, if Krishna directs that you must fight, they fight. That is Vaishnava. When Arjuna declined to fight, and then Krishna had to instruct him about the whole instruction of Bhagavad Gita, just to induce him to fight.
You stay nearby? You stay.
And at last, Arjuna was asked by Krishna, now what is your decision? I have told you anything, everything. What you decide? Whatever you decide, now you do. I have finished my instruction. He said, yes, I shall fight.
Okay. Everybody went.
Karishye vachanam tavo.
So I am alone here.
Nastamo, I was illusion.
He went to Tirupati.
Now it is my duty, because you are ordering,
Okay.
and I have heard you very patiently, so it is my duty to fight. Karishe vachanam tava. This very word is there. I shall act as you advise. This is the result of studying Bhagavad Gita. You read Bhagavad Gita, and when you agree to act by the instruction of Krishna, then your Bhagavad Gita reading is success. Otherwise, if you act differently, then you may read Bhagavad Gita for many thousands of years, there is no benefit. So, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that asacyan anusucham. In the beginning, Arjuna was arguing with Krishna to support his decision that he would not fight. But he could not